A very good evening to you and a warm welcome to the news live on Channel I. I'm Sharifa Tahir.
Good evening, I'm Clifford Richards. First of all, we take a look at the headlines. The President instructs to appoint a special committee to grant relief systematically to those affected in the Salawa incident. The EU fish export ban imposed on Sri Lanka has been completely withdrawn. The first fish stock dispatched from the Dikkovita harbour. The Prime Minister says that the GSP Plus concession will also be regained before the end of the year. All facilities are being finalized for the devotees arriving in Anuradhapura for the Poson season. A female British parliamentarian has been killed by an attack of an extremist. Moving on to the stories in detail. President Maithripala Sirisena has instructed the relevant authorities to appoint a special committee to grant relief systematically to those affected by the explosion in Salawa, Kuskama. The committee is entrusted with the responsibility of coordinating all relief operations until the restoration of the daily routine of those affected. The President has given the orders at a special discussion at the President's office today. The committee is to be comprised of Finance Minister Ravi Karunalayake, Minister of Disaster Management Anura Priyadarshini and Minister of Science, Technology and Research Susil Premajayantha. The President also said that the government took measures to grant relief without any shortcoming to the people in Salawa, not as a result of protests, but according to a organizational procedure of the government. The President has also advised to hand over the 50,000 rupee monthly allowance in a systematic manner. He has also instructed to recruit more assessment officials if the existing numbers of officials are not sufficient. President Maithripala Sirisena said that the government has taken special measures from time to time to extend relief to the people since the explosion in Salawa. The government's aim is to alleviate the status of the area to a higher level than before. The President further said that he really appreciates the cooperation and leadership role extended by all concerned, including MPs and ministers without any political differences, to grant redress to the victims. The Mahasangha MPs and ministers headed by the Prime Minister and government officials were also present at the discussion.
The Ministry of Fisheries has handed over to the representatives of the European Union the first stock of fish to be exported after the removal of the European fish export ban imposed against the country. The event took place at the Wattala Dikkovita Fisheries Harbour today. The European fish export ban was imposed against the country last year. Prior to its imposition, Sri Lanka has been exporting around 17,000 tons of fish to the member states of the European Union. The value of the stocks was around 74 million euros. Later on, the exports have fallen by 73% to 19 million euros. Secretary to the Ministry of Fisheries, Mangalika Adhikari, says that Sri Lanka exports fish mainly to the Netherlands, Germany, France, Italy and England. Sri Lanka was one of the leading fish exporting countries to the EU. There is a higher demand for Sri Lankan tuna and balea. During the period of the ban, suppliers from other countries have been catering to the European fish market. However, European food processors says that the quality of the fish supplied by other countries was not at all up to the standards of the Sri Lankan produce. Several British food processing companies said that they are waiting till the arrival of the Sri Lankan fish stocks to their markets. Sri Lankan envoy to the European Union, David Daly, has officially informed the lifting of the proscription.
Sri Lanka has been exporting nearly US dollars 100 million worth of fish to the European Union, and with the ban which came into effect from the 15th of January, the exports came down drastically, and now we have got the ban removed, and from next week we can commence our exports. And we feel that it will take a few years to get this rebuild these exports, and also the damage that happened to the export companies and the fishing community and the boat owners. So now we have a lot of new regulations have been imposed on fishing and type of boats and fishing equipment, and also import of fish and pre-processing and export. So we have to adhere to all those regulations. So with that, everybody has to now get together and come out of it and have a good plan. And also there should be, people who are violating these regulations should be, we should impose very heavy penalties so that these kind of bans should not come into effect again for Sri Lanka, which will create such a big damage.
The European Union has removed the fish export ban imposed against Sri Lanka. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe says that the European Council has officially declared its decision yesterday. It has also been pointed out that Sri Lanka is scheduled to regain the GSP Plus concession before the end of this year. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe further says that the far-sighted policies of the government of good governance have created an impact in granting this relief. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe delivered a special statement on the economic tendencies in the country at Temple Trees today and said that the President has promised at the last presidential election that the fish ban will be lifted once he became the President. The government has been acting to remove the ban since the day it assumed duties. The outcome of these efforts has been witnessed yesterday. The European Council has submitted the proposal to withdraw the ban to its general meeting. The first two steps to modernize the fisheries industry have borne and also been taken, and the pledge given in 2014 has been fulfilled.
මෛත්‍රීපාල සිරිසේන ජනාධිපතිතුමාගේ යහපාලන ආණ්ඩුව ඇති කරලා තියෙන ජනතාව අතර සල්ලි දෙන්න. එහෙනම් එදා නැති වුණ අයිතියක් ආපහු ලබා දීලා තියෙනවා. දැන් දීවර කර්මාන්තයේ නවීකරණය කිරීමේ පළවෙනි පියවර දෙක අරගෙන 2014 දුන්න පොරොන්දුව ඉෂ්ට කරා කියලා මම කියන්න කැමතියි.
The Prime Minister, commenting on the GSP Plus concession, said that they have declared at the last presidential election that this facility will be brought back. The time has come to submit an application to regain the GSP status as well. However, even before submitting its request, Sri Lanka is conducting an unofficial level talks with the EU in this connection. The factors that should be included in the draft bill being prepared will be finalized within the next 2 weeks. Thereafter, the GSP Plus application will be presented to the Trade Office of the European Union in the Brussels city. The Prime Minister has expressed optimism on the possibility to regain the GSP relief by the end of this year. The fishing community will gain more benefits with the reacquisition of the GSP concession. Such a move will pave the way to reduce customs duties. The tea industry will also be benefited. In addition, many industries will be able to enter the European market. The number of foreign investors arriving in the island to gain access to the market will be increased. The Premier has reminded that this was another pledge given by them. He also said that they are attempting to arrive at a final solution by resolving all ethnic and religious problems. He has requested the support of all to fulfill this objective. The Prime Minister said that the international community is supporting us. He added that if the country is able to bring a new constitution, it will be able to receive more aid, assistance and investment opportunities. A national government has been established under the leadership of the President. The ultimate result of these initiatives is the dawn of peace and economic development. He further said that there will be more money in the pockets of everybody when there is enhancement in investment opportunities.
The Sri Lanka-China Buddhist Friendship Association has conducted a conference at the Lakshman Kadirgamar Centre in Colombo today. Minister Gayantha Karunatilaka was the chief guest. The keynote address was delivered by the President of the Sri Lanka Buddhist Congress, Professor Praneeth Abesundara. Chief Sanganayaka of the Shandong Province, Venerable Ming Shang, has delivered a lecture on the historical Buddhist relations between Sri Lanka and China. The Mahasangha, including the Mahanayaka of the Kotte Kalyani Samagri Dharma Mahasangha Sabha, Most Venerable Dr. Ittapane Dhammalankara Thera, Venerable Professor Bellan Vimalaratana Anunayaka Thera, and the Deputy Chinese Ambassador in Sri Lanka, Hung Chang Shui, were also present.
Numerous religious programs have been organized this Poson season as well, commemorating the historic Sri Lankan visit of Arahat Mihindu Mahathera. Well, it is hoped that more than 1.5 million devotees would arrive at the Anuradhapura sacred area. All facilities have been arranged for the incoming pilgrims. Well, according to the historic records, the Lord Buddha had visited Sri Lanka 3 times. The archaeological evidence revealed that the Buddhist environmental characteristics had altered with the passage of time. It was under the direction of Emperor Ashoka that steps were taken to establish Buddhism in the neighboring countries. As a result, a delegation comprising Arahat Mihindu had arrived in Sri Lanka in the year 543 BC and established a virtuous society centering Anuradhapura. People in large numbers are reported to be arriving in Anuradhapura to venerate the Ruanmali Mahasaya, Sri Mahabodhiya and Mihintale. A special traffic plan is being implemented in the sacred city. The necessary sanitation and infrastructure facilities are being prepared for the pilgrims. It is prohibited for pilgrims to bathe in the Tissa River. Only the identified locations in other reservoirs are permitted to be used for bathing purposes. It is fully prohibited to bring drugs or to use such items within the sacred city. A special security program is also being implemented. Dhansellars have commenced functioning from today. It is prohibited to sell liquor or meat within the sacred city limits till the 22nd of this month. The national television will telecast live Poson programs from Anuradhapura and Thantirimale sacred sites.
Deputy Minister Ajit P. Pereira says that a new constitution will be presented for the country before the end of this year. He points out that the main objective of the present government is to draft a constitution suited for the country through a democratic process, overcoming whatever obstructions. Deputy Minister Ajit P. Pereira said that they, as a government, is maintaining a stern position with regard to the presentation of a new constitution. He added that the President, the Prime Minister and all responsible members of Parliament will commit themselves to maximum extent to pass the new constitution by a 2/3 majority in Parliament and to hold a public referendum in this connection. The Deputy Minister further said that there is no doubt of the country receiving a democratic constitution and to restore the rights of the citizens. Opinions were also expressed on the issue of the central bank governor. Deputy Minister Ajit P. Pereira said that the full authority on this issue lies with the President. He further said that the President will take the best decision on behalf of the country by considering all options.
Deputy Minister of State Enterprise Development Iran Vikramaratne says that Sri Lanka is transforming from agro-based economy more into a service and manufacturing-based economy. He says that it is needed to build a knowledge-based economy in the country. He made these remarks at a function held in Colombo today. Future Minds 2016 exhibition was opened at the BMICH Sirimao Bandaranaike Memorial Hall under the patronage of Deputy Minister Iran Vikramaratne. A large number of invitees, including Chairman of the University Grants Commission, Professor Mohan De Silva, and Chairman of the Kandy City Centre, Tusita Vijayasena, also graced the occasion. Future Minds exhibition is being held for the 11th consecutive year, aiming to provide better opportunities in the higher education sector for Sri Lankan youth. This year, well, there are around 300 exhibition stalls of 250 higher education institutes representing various local and foreign higher education providers. The winners of the All-Island Future Minds competition were also awarded at the inaugural function.
Sri Lanka is trying to transform itself from an agro-based economy more into a service and manufacturing-based economy. The only way forward for us, in my view, is really to build more knowledge-based economy. In the South Asian League, Sri Lanka has the highest living standards. I've always said that we culturally belong to South Asia, but economically we actually belong to the Southeast Asian League. We may be at the bottom of that league, but our aspirations should be to get to the top of that league in the next 2 decades.
We are extremely happy. We can see within a couple of hours after opening, there's an influx of people coming in, and exactly the youth is coming in, and we are very happy that our message has gone to the right set of people, and they are very much interested in getting the benefit out of this exhibition. Also, we will move on next weekend to Kandy. It will be at Kandy City Centre. And also in September, we will move to Galle, giving the opportunity to everyone in the country.
We are in this industry for more than 3 years. Now we are affiliated with Heriot-Watt University. We offer business management degrees as well as IT degrees. So it is such a great experience to be in this event.
KIU is a newly open university. We offer so many degrees. We cater for the A-level students.
So it's a privilege for us to come here and enhance our brand and show the market what we have to offer.
The Future Mind exhibition is a greater platform for people who are looking for opportunities in higher education sector. This exhibition will last until next Sunday. I'm Dhammika Wickramage of Rupavahini reporting from Future Mind Exhibition Hall.
We have more local stories coming up, but before that we have a tour of Asia in a minute. India's Foreign Minister Sushma Swaraj calls on visiting Thai Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha for bilateral talks in New Delhi. Dozens of people marched to the China liaison office in Hong Kong, demanding answers from Beijing about the detention of 5 Hong Kong booksellers late last year following a news conference by one of the publishers. China's consumer market was growing steadily in May, said China's Ministry of Commerce at a regular press conference today. Malaysian Prime Minister Najib Razak said the proposed regional centre in Bandar, Malaysia, invested by China Railway Group Limited, shows China's confidence in the Malaysian economy. Mangroves and cherries, all of which were once imported from overseas, are now grown in local farms in South Korea. The farmer is making more than $85,500 in annual foreign fruits cultivation.
Deputy Minister of Iran Vikramaratne says that agreements were signed for investments amounting to 500 million rupees in April and May of this year. He made these remarks at a media briefing at the UNP headquarters today. Deputy Minister of Iran Vikramaratne said that they have entered into agreements through the Board of Investment. The objective was to commence numerous projects valued at 500 million rupees. The main reason attributed to such an achievement has been the stability of the economic policies of the government. Deputy Minister of Iran Vikramaratne also stated that they are considering on the imposition of a capital tax. He also pointed out that the percentage of the group which lie between those receiving an extremely higher income and the lowest income has increased considerably in the past decade. The Deputy Minister said that he believes there should be social justice. Therefore, the government is now studying as to which group should be subjected most to this tax. Commenting on the issue of the appointment of the Governor of the Central Bank, the Deputy Minister said that the final decision lies with the President. He also said that according to the Constitution, the Governor is being appointed on a decision of the President and on the advice of the Minister of Finance. He added they are not aware whether the term of the incumbent Governor Arjun Mahendran should have been extended. He further said that it is up to the President to take the correct decision by looking at every angle.
The British High Commission in Colombo celebrated the 90th birthday of Her Royal Highness Queen Elizabeth II at Westminster House in Colombo yesterday. A media release from the British High Commission says that parliamentarians, together with businessmen, religious leaders and representatives of the international community and civil society, have attended the event. Addressing the guests, the British High Commissioner to Sri Lanka, James Doris, says that Her Majesty the Queen and famous playwright William Shakespeare are regarded with admiration and affection by the people around the world, especially in those countries that are members of the Commonwealth. Chairman of the Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation also participated.
Tarry, rash wanton! Am not I thy lord?
In the UK, we don't have a national day. Instead, we celebrate the Queen's birthday each year, and it is something that we are proud to do. Queen Elizabeth has been our sovereign for more than 64 years, since February 1952. During more than 64 years on the throne, she has, to quote Pope Benedict, offered to the whole world an inspiring example of dedication to duty and a commitment to maintaining the principles of freedom, justice, and democracy.
The funeral of the former leader of the Janata Vimukti Peramuna, Somawansa Amarasinghe, is scheduled to take place at the General Cemetery, Borella, tomorrow evening. President Maithripala Sirisena and Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe have issued messages of condolence on the passing away of Somawansa Amarasinghe. The President's message says that the late JVP leader was an extremely rare politician who had sacrificed his life for the services of others based upon his political vision. A special characteristic of this revolutionary politician has been his sense of flexibility despite being engaged in hardcore political philosophy. The President has recalled how he had displayed this quality by coming forward to amalgamate his party with the United People's Freedom Alliance to establish a coalition government. The late leader had a deep understanding on international politics. The President adds that he was a kind of a politician who should have remained in the local politics. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe's message says that the commitments of the late Somawansa Amarasinghe to direct the JVP toward the democratic process should be appreciated. He has rendered a significant service to rehabilitate the party during his tenure as leader between 1990 and 2014. The Premier adds that he has always earned the respect of the general public as a lovable and unassuming character. The President and the Prime Minister have paid their respects to the former JVP leader at his residence, number 35, Singhapura, Thalangama South, last night. Several MPs and ministers, including the Minister of Media, Gayantha Karunatilaka, were also present at this occasion.
You're watching Rupavahini News and continuing with more local stories. The sacred relics brought from the Gandhara land will be carried to the Tantirimale Rajamahavihare tomorrow. The exposition of the sacred relics will take place at the Diyasenpura Sri Bodhirukharama Vihare in Madaragiri till midnight tonight. The sacred relics were brought to the Diyasenpura Sri Bodhirukharama Vihare yesterday under the patronage of the chief incumbent of the Vihare, the Venerable Diyasenpura Silaratana Thera. The exposition of the relics will be conducted at several places till the 25th of this month.
The All Shares Price Index closed at 6,465.99 points, increased by 30.22 points, and the S&P SL20 Index closed at 3,402.21 points, also increased by 17.15 points at the end of trading in the Colombo Stock Exchange today. Turnover was over 200 million rupees. Here's a summary of the market details of the Colombo Stock Exchange for today. That's it on local news. We'll be back with international stories.
Welcome back. And in the international scene, the suspect in the killing of a member of parliament on a street in northern England, Thomas Mayer, has been arrested by the police. Reportedly, he has a history of ties with neo-Nazi organization in the United States. The lawmaker Jo Cox had just completed a meeting with constituents in the town of Birstall when she was shot by a man who confronted her on the street yesterday. Another man who had sought to intervene was injured. The police have not disclosed any information about a possible motive for the attack and have not formally identified Mayer as the suspect. The suspect's family members have told that Mayer has a history of mental illness. The Southern Poverty Law Center, which is based in Alabama and tracks extremist groups, released receipts last night showing that the suspect Mayer had paid $620 for materials from the National Vanguard books, the publishing imprint of the neo-Nazi organization called the National Alliance. The alliance, once leading neo-Nazi group in the United States, fell into a long decline after the death in 2002 of its leader William Luther Pierce, who killed 168 people in the 1995 Oklahoma City bombing.
We now move on to some international news from around the world in brief. Russian President Vladimir Putin met UN Secretary-General Ban Ki-moon and UN Syria envoy Staffan de Mistura in St. Petersburg yesterday. The meeting took place on the sidelines of an economic forum in St. Petersburg and was set to focus on Syria. Ban Ki-moon expressed gratitude to Putin for his role in global leadership during the meeting. A horde of giant spider crabs has amassed in waters near the Australian city of Melbourne. Hundreds of thousands of crabs migrate to Australia's southern shores each year as ocean waters cool. Australian aquatic scientist Sherry Maris filmed an enormous gathering of the crustaceans in Port Phillip Bay.
And in sport, we have cricket starting off. The Sri Lankan team has been able to win the first one-day match, the current series of that's against Ireland by 76 runs. Dasun Shanaka has displayed his skills in all three formats at this encounter. The Irish team, after winning the toss, had handed over the opportunity to the Sri Lankan team to bat first. Kusal Mendis recorded his first half-century in one-day matches. Angelo Matthews has scored 48 runs and Dasun Shanaka 42. Dinesh Chandimal hit an unbeaten 102 facing 109 deliveries. His score included 6 boundaries. This was his third century in one-day encounters. The Sri Lankan team has piled up 303 runs for the loss of 7 wickets in their 50 overs. A rainfall after the Sri Lankan innings has given the target for the Ireland team to score 283 in 47 overs for victory. However, the team was able to score only 216 runs with a loss of 4 wickets in 40 overs when the match was halted. The high scorer for the Ireland team was its captain Porterfield, who has recorded 73 runs in which included 7 boundaries. Kevin O'Brien scoring 64. Dasun Shanaka took 5 wickets for 43 runs in 9 overs. He set up a record by becoming the third player in Sri Lankan cricket history to take 5 wickets in the first appearance in one-day encounters.
In the meantime, the final stage matches of the DSI Super Sports Schools Volleyball Tournament has commenced at the National Youth Service Council grounds in Maharagama today. 211 teams are competing in the junior male competitions, which has begun today. The matches are being conducted under the 3 age categories. Junior female competitions are scheduled to commence on the 24th. The tournament has been organized by the DSI group of companies and the schools unit of the Ministry of Education. The Sri Lanka Army has been successful in winning both male and female championships of the judo tournament of the security services. The competitions were conducted for 3 days at the Panagoda Army Indoor Stadium. The men's trophy has been secured by the Army by collecting 55.5 points. The runners-up were the Air Force. The Army women's team has secured 47.5 points and the runners-up were the Navy. Mahanama College, Colombo has secured the championship trophy of the LV Javira boxing tournament. The runners-up were the Vidyaratna College, Horana. Royal College, Colombo has been placed third. The tournament, with the participation of 200 players, was held at the Mahanama College, Colombo. Sports Minister Dasri Jayasekara and others were present at the prize.
Welcome back, and looking at the weather forecast for tomorrow, the Met Department says the showery and windy conditions are expected to be enhanced to some extent in the western and southwestern parts of the island during the 17th to the 20th of this month. Strong winds at times can be experienced over the country and surrounding sea areas, particularly over the western slopes of the Central Hills, southern province, and also over the southern sea areas as well. The cloudy skies are expected over the western and southern parts of the island. Showers will occur at times in the western, Sabaragamu, central, southern and northwestern provinces. Heavy falls can be expected at some places. Shower or thunder showers are likely to be taking place in few places in the eastern provinces as well after 2 p.m.
And that's it for us for tonight's bulletin. Join us again tomorrow too at the same time. Good night.